All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chig from a very, very late night Eagle Eye episode on the Gooner Eagle Eye channel. That's right. Your boy is going to talk about the transfer rumours that support us, that are around Arsenal Football Club at the moment. There are two stories that, in particular, are going to take my focus tonight. I'm not going to bang on too much for you guys. Just because let's just get to the meat and potatoes of the whole stories, and let's see if we can get to the bottom of this. Let's start off with the bad, and we'll see if we can end a little positively today. So let's start off with the lead story, and that is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. This story took a fresh twist today. You guys know I laughed at this story when it came out yesterday. I was like, no freaking way are we going to trade Aubameyang for Zaha. Aubameyang for Zaha. Yeah. Even now, I'm still like, whatever. Whatever, right? And I got into a couple of debates. But see, I like those type of debates. Those type of dates are always respectful. And with this particular guy, I think his name is T-Man or T the Man or whatever his name is. Apologies, brother. He's someone that listened to me for some time. But he said, you know what, Chigo, I usually respect and like what you say, but how can you say that the traded Aubameyang for Zaha is a bad deal because we've always operated better with one up top and if there's an opportunity to trade Aubameyang, then we should take it, right? Now, people, before I get into this, I am not adverse to the idea of losing Aubameyang. I never have been. I think he's a good player. I think he's a good goal scorer. I also recognize he's 30 years old. In spite of his goals, I didn't think he had an amazing season, to be brutally honest. I really didn't. I'm not going to sit here and say that I was disappointed in his output because that would be dumb. But I wasn't overly impressed by him, I'll be honest. I wasn't overly gassed by him. And I've always been a long-term guy. It's the fault of working in HR. We tend to be long-term strategists in everything that we do. And long-term wise, I don't see him doing it in 2 years' time. I don't see him being that guy in 2 years' time. I see him having a potentially really good season next year. And then the season after that is going to be a big test for him because, to be honest, his game is totally dependent on his pace. And over the course of this particular season, we saw his pace almost slowly but surely just start to taper off. Just start to. And I do wonder what he'll do when that pace eventually goes, because a death finisher, I don't think he is. So, which I know sounds ridiculous for someone that scored over 30 goals, but I still say it. If his pace goes, I wonder what he'll actually do. Can he adapt? I'm not so sure. We'll see. So don't get me wrong. I'm not adverse to the idea of necessarily getting rid of Aubameyang. But for flipping Wilfried Zaha, no. That would just be literally, someone said it in the chat yesterday, an arse backwards way of doing it. It just, no. Not for, if you're going to tell me that we're selling Aubameyang because we want to bring Nicholas Pepe, I'll be like, I could see that move. You're talking about someone who is a goal scorer and is only 23 years old, and you want to sell Aubameyang to buy him, I get you. Now I see your move. You're someone that could potentially play on that left-hand side. Okay, I can see the logic in your thinking. To replace him for Wilfried Zaha, it would just be the most idiotic thing Please. I'm hoping this is BS, right? Now, I say all that to say this. The story took a twist today. So there's a story that came out in Tutu Sport. Now, I will say Tutu Sport likes stirring some shit. They do like coming out with wild stories. It's an Italian publication that Aubameyang supposedly said yes, like he loves the idea of going to Man United. The idea of selling anybody, selling United even a mop at this point, is just asinine. We have sold to these motherfuckers enough. In fact, we have this habit of selling our best assets to them, and they flog us their shit that they don't want anymore. And I think we need to stop. We need to stop that. It wouldn't make any logical sense to sell to the one team, the one top team that actually finished below us last season. What kind of logic would that be? I don't give a damn if they offer 100 million. You tell them no. Money means a lot in our situation, but there's only two teams in this world that we should never consider selling to. United are one. Can you guess the other? It's as simple as that. We are in a situation now where I am not adverse to selling Uber, but I think you do the right deal. So not for Louis Zaha. Why do I keep calling Louis Zaha would be more use? Let me tell you. Wilfried Zaha, right? You don't sell him, you don't take a 30-goal a season striker and bring in someone that scored 10 goals. It don't make sense. Don't do that, right? And also, you don't sell to Man United. I don't care how much money they're flashing in your face. If this is your version of we need to be brave, I'm not impressed. What I want to see you be brave with is someone like a Mesut Ozil, a Mkhitaryan, and tell them you're not needed, bounce. See ya, find a deal, find a club, we will subsidize your move. Just go. That's what I want to see you be brave about. This is not being brave. This would be idiotic. So, what do I think of this story? I honestly, and this is just my view, I think Uber is trying to find himself a new deal with Arsenal. And I think between the China story, the United story, this is his agent playing games, in my opinion. And I think he wants a new contract. And there was a lot of stories, that was, particularly the last couple of weeks, that we were planning to offer Lacazette and Aubameyang new contracts to warn off interest. And I think this is his agent trying to play to that idea and perhaps put out some wild stories. I think one lesson we should all learn from the Torreira situation is that until you actually hear the player saying that he wants to go, you take all this shit with a pinch of salt. And the papers are going to come hard with this idea that Aubameyang wants to leave for Man United. It just doesn't make sense strengthening United, even for a season. Remember, I just said that I think Aubameyang would be good next season. Even for a season, it just doesn't make sense to strengthen someone that actually finished below us. We're trying to break into the top four, and our genius idea is to strengthen the team that actually finished below us. No, that doesn't make no sense. So, for me, thanks, no thanks, see ya. When it comes to Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, I don't care what though. They're flashing in our face. That's the one circumstance. That's the one option I am completely and utterly against. If we're talking Real Madrid, if we're talking abroad, yeah, cool, bring that dough. Not flipping Man United. No, I'm sorry. I said I'll get the negative stuff away, so out of the way, so I might as well keep going. It looks as though Christian Bielik has decided that he wants to leave Arsenal after the summer. He's not tolerating sticking around. He apparently has had some tentative talks with people at the club, and the idea is that they still don't believe he'll get first-team football. So from his perspective, he's just come back from a successful period with Charlton, and he feels he's good enough. He backs himself to be able to be in the first team of a decent club, and he wants to leave Arsenal. I think it's a shame. When this guy came on board, I remember there was a lot of expectation with him, because I think he came in a January window, and I remember Wenger talked him up as some hot shit DM, and then we never saw the motherfucker again. And he's gone on loan at Charlton, and he's done well, but he's done well at a League One level, guys. Let's not get too gassed. I was all for seeing what he could do, because quite honestly, we're in a situation now where we need to make use of the assets we have more than ever. And if that's an asset we have, I'm prepared to have a look at him and see what he could do as a fan, just speaking totally honestly as a fan. But I'm also not completely against the idea of selling him if he's going to get us some funds for us to potentially get a better player. I think Arsenal need to be smart about that one now. I'd like us to have either some sort of buyback clause, some sort of sell-on fee, let's be smart about this. I mean, when you look at the Zaha situation, someone said this in the chat room, but I completely rubbished it. United was so on point. Before they sold him back to Palace, they put on a 25% sell-on fee. I mean, I would have thought Palace would have done that when they sold him to Man United in the first place. I think that is a genius move, an honestly genius move, and we need to start doing that shit more. I mean, my gosh. You see how much Atletico Madrid is buying goalkeepers, and how much Barcelona is spending on goalkeepers. And our goalkeeper, our international goalkeeper, is going for 3 million quid. It's just like, what's going on? What's going on? Let's start to hustle a little bit and be a bit smart with some of the deals that we do, even when we sell players. Anyway, I told you I would get some of this negative shit out of the way. Let's talk about some people we're actually being linked with. Oh no, hold on. Before I go anywhere, let's talk about this. Now, apparently, Mustafi is being linked with Fenerbahce. Fenerbahce, please bless your hearts coming for him. Please. 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 Oh my gosh, the rumor mill is that apparently Fenerbahce have had some tentative inquiries about Mustafi, and they may be interested in him. Quite honestly, I don't care if it's 10 million, 5 million, just take him. Take him. Don't put up any resistance. Don't price Fenerbahce out. Don't scare them off. Just accept their first bid and bounce and run. And just chalk that one up to the last regime and let him go quietly and mosey on out of there quietly. Don't let them know that he's a terrible defender. Whatever you do. Sorry, because I know I have a lot of Turkish fans and some of them like Fenerbahce, but we need you to take this one on we need you to take this one on the chin. Take this one on the chin. For the Arsenal, take this one on the chin. So yeah, I also saw this story right before I left for work this morning. I watched the interview with Celtic boss Neil Lennon, and he was talking about Arsenal's interest in Kieran Tierney, and he's basically said to them that they're going to have to up their bid from 15 million. In fact, the quote is, Arsenal are aware of what we value the player at. He's on a long-term contract. He's an asset, and we don't want to sell him. It's going to take a lot more than what they've offered the first time around to give us a decision to make. I've had a chat with him, and it can be difficult and a bit unsettling. I've been there myself. It's important we support him regardless of the outcome. It's almost like they're readying him for Arsenal to let him down. Which, let's be flipping honest, if there is going to be a club that is going to let you down in a situation like this, it is going to be the Arsenal. I did say to people, Arsenal have supposedly made 2 bids, although this one's saying they just made the 1 bid. Arsenal don't normally tend to make a 3rd bid. I am just preparing people for this possibility right now. They don't tend to do it. So we'll see. That might be why you're starting to hear stories about Mustafi and Bielik and people like that. Because even if it's just a couple of million, that might be used for this Terraney deal. So don't be surprised. I haven't talked about this story, so I may as well talk about this story now. Arsenal are being linked with Dan Etzel Zagadou. He is the Borussia Dortmund central defender. And I know that he's 20 years old. And he's someone that Arsenal are interested in. He's meant to be I say he's 20 years old. He's an under-20s France international. Plays for Dortmund. I say plays. Gets the occasional game here and there. Obviously, Dortmund have just bought back Mats Hummels. And they've also spent a lot of money recently. And they're going to need to recoup some money back. So there's a feeling that they may actually entertain an interest from Arsenal. Now, obviously, the focus from Arsenal at the moment seems to be on young players which essentially they can tie down to a long-term contract and be assets for them. Because let's be honest, that's the name of the game. That's what we're in at the moment. So there's a feeling that someone like this Dan Etzel Zagadou could be the perfect opportunity to nab and potentially make an impact on the team. It seems like the Izzo deal for now has stalled. In terms of the other defender that we're being linked with, there isn't a lot of movement there. So it looks like we're focusing on this as a player who can play now and make an impact now. So let's see. Let's see where this goes. He has asked to leave the club, which is the fresh development on this story. So I guess if anything is going to happen with this player coming in our direction, it's going to happen now. Apparently, he is very interested in move to Arsenal as well. So we'll see. A lot of people want to move to Arsenal at the moment. So let's see. Let's see if it goes anywhere. What's the other story I was going to talk about? So I talked about this story briefly, but I'll talk about it again because a lot of papers mention the fact that we're interested in him, and that's Keita Baldi, who's the Monaco winger that I mentioned yesterday. He's 24 years old. He was on loan at Inter last season. They have an option to buy him for 34 million euros. If he stays at 34 million euros, quite honestly, I don't see Arsenal going for him. And to be perfectly honest, I don't think we should at that price. Apparently, the price has been set for £30 million. So we'll see if that actually goes anywhere. We'll see. Another story as well is, and I'm going to talk about this as a final story. And this is a name I know I'm going to butcher. Someone advised me that I should sound out names before butchering it. So let me see if I can do this. Zinho van Husseden. Zinho van Husseden is the Inter Milan centre-back from Belgium, 19 years old, spent last season on loan at Standard Liège. Apparently, again, this is another report from Tutto Sport, so you've got to take this with a pinch of salt, but there's a fee being mooted around said to be about £18 million to secure him. Arsenal are one of the clubs that are interested in him. Inter were also in for him, but talks on him have stalled. So yeah, we will see what happens, but at least we're active. active, and it looks like, in terms of stories, it looks like we're interested in quite a few people. I know a lot of people will laugh at that sentence, but I told you people 3 weeks ago, there ain't no signing that was going to happen before the 1st. We are now the 27th of June. Was I proven right, or was I proven right? We weren't ever going to make a signing before then. The William Saliba one is more of the same, really. They believe the deal is more or less done. The only thing is that, you know, there's a debate on whether or not we're going to pay £9 million to have him now, or pay 22.5 for him and have him next year. So at the moment, there's that sort of debate, and they believe that that is what is holding up the deal. I've said it before and I say it again. Don't be surprised if this deal is done. Just Arsenal haven't announced it yet for whatever PR or strategic reason. I honestly believe that we've already done the deal. I did say a final story, but I might as well talk about this deal. And I know I'm going to butcher his name, but I'm going to say it how it's spelled. And I'm no doubt some know-it-all will talk about, Chib, you didn't play it right. You didn't say it right. It's actually pronounced. So Julian Wiggle, or Weigl, is the defensive midfielder from Borussia Dortmund. 27 million he's set to be at. Played a lot of last season as a centre. He's nice and versatile. So if you can play more than one position, Arsenal are likely going to be interested in you. That's 17 appearances for Dortmund all of last season. So he's not getting a lot of football. And as you just heard me talk about earlier in this particular video, Dortmund have done a lot of business. So they need to start selling people. 27 million when we have such a light budget, I can't see it happening. I must admit. I do know that this Julian guy is very, very good, though. Has a lot of talent. And the fact that he can play more than one position, maybe give another alternative option in case we do lose a Bielik. Because let's be real here, if we lose a Bielik and sell El Nene, which I'm still a big proponent of, we don't have a lot of defensive midfielder options if there is an injury to Xhaka or Torreira. So I like the idea that we may be potentially looking at, even though, yes, people, I agree, we need a Ramsey replacement. Having said that, I also do believe that between Joe Willock and Emil Smith-Rowe, you potentially have a Ramsey replacement there. But yeah, that was just another link for us that papers are starting to go pretty hard with. So you might see a lot of that in the next couple of days. But supposedly we are interested in Julian Wiggle or Weigl. I think that is pretty much it now. I think that's everything. Let me just pop into the chat room and see what you guys are saying. Probably making fun of my pronunciations, no doubt. What's the bet? I've got to ban somebody in the chat. 2-1. I think it's likely. Also, I see there's 65 people watching live. Sorry about that. I see there's 65 people live. There's only 21 likes. Wow. Boost them likes up, please, and thank you. Vigil. Whatever. Anyway, boost those likes up, please. Even if it's just to laugh at me and my pronunciations. At least do me that favor and boost those likes while you're laughing. I'm sure you can multitask. Okay, see a couple of donations have flown in. Brent D, who's donated $2. Thank you, Brent. Unless Mustafi, no sales to United. Yes, Mustafi was straight double agent it, but he's double agent it. So yes, I'm all for selling Mustafi to United. Gosh, I'll tell you what, it'll make them appreciate Phil Jones. Let me tell you. I'd have Phil Jones over Mustafi any day. Yes, Chigs. Yes, Lee. I didn't see Lee in my chat. Big up to Lee. Did see him earlier. Big up to Lee. I know all of you are already subscribed to him anyway. But if you haven't subscribed to him up until now, make sure you do. That boy worked hard. Boots on his on that admin thing. I didn't even see that comment that you blocked out, so I probably didn't want to. All right, let me start reading some of your comments. Best way to get my attention, guys, is through that super chat. Those colors do pop out at you when you do that. They are open. It is not mandatory by any means. I'm literally mentioning it just because people do get mad when I don't see their comments. So that's usually the best way of getting my attention, guys. So thank you. How about trading Ozil for Carrasco? Would be mutually beneficial for both clubs. Trust me, if that was even an option, do that shit immediately. Immediately. If that was even an option, of course. Mind you, I'm not gassed by Carrasco. But if that was an option, of course. Oops, work rate has to improve. Agreed. Yeah, definitely not Zaha. Most overrated player. I fully agree. I'm a Zaha fan, and even to me, that sounds ridiculous. Zaha ain't 80 million. I must say this. I said this even to you yesterday. Yeah, I know, Capone. I know. It wasn't you I was referring to. It was Mr. T, something like that. I can't even remember. You know, T the man, something like that. He was the one that was leaving me that comment and stuff. And me and him were having a debate. It was a respectful debate, though. I like those. But he was basically making this point that, you know, that the deal is a great deal. We should be looking into it. I'm not against necessarily selling Uber, but sell Uber to get something better, not to get something worse. Uber's looking for a new deal, that's for sure. He wouldn't go to United, that aren't in the Champions. Listen, don't get it twisted, Brandon. I've just seen your comment. United are a big club. Let's be fucking real. They're a massive club. But I just think, for me, these stories sound like agent work to me. It doesn't sound like Uber. That sounds like agent work to me. And I feel like he's after that new deal. And I don't really blame him. He's 30 years old. You don't want to get to 32 and you don't even want to get to 31 and be told to get out. He wants to secure his time at Arsenal down. I think his agent is doing exactly what he should be doing in a lot of ways. So, yeah. When did he call you and tell you that? Martin Sheridan. I don't even know who that comment is to. I hope Mustafi is going to Fenerbahce. Is that true? Celebrate. Capone, don't even get me started, bro. Trust me on that one. Boots is finally in the house. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Get them likes up, Brent. I'm with you on that one. 32 likes only. Come on, people. Drive those likes up. You guys have been amazing with the likes recently. All jokes aside. You've been amazing with that. Like, just keep doing it. It always gets attention to the show when you do it. Takes 2 seconds to drop a like as well. So make sure you do it. Marco, we should get an agent in as they get deals done. First 10 years, Wenger done a lot for us. Then they left us with a fucking mess, fucked up his legacy. I'll drive him up there. Chig, have you done? I've still not checked out this DM that you're talking about, Capone, but I will do. I will do. Good job on that name, Chig. At this rate, we'll probably be linked with Capone. Capone's active today, boy. Chigs, thoughts on the Arsenal realist guy? I don't really have that many thoughts on him, brother. He's doing his thing. He's a YouTuber. I prefer that he doesn't go after people that I like. It is what it is. I suppose that everybody's allowed their opinion. He clearly has you guys' attention, so he's doing something right. But I don't really have any thoughts about him. As far as Stan goes, the one thing we do agree about is that we both think he should be out. Probably have completely different ideas on how he does it, but he obviously goes after people I like. So I don't really have much else to say on that, other than that's their battle. I'd rather not get involved, but at the same time, he's doing this thing. And I only say that because I know Lee wouldn't want me to get involved in that shit. You're going to be me and Lee's translator. I didn't know I needed a translator. Thank you very much. Just liked. I always forget. Thank you, Stephen, brother. At least you liked it now. That's the main thing. Jermaine, money aside, Zaha, Mkhitaryan, or Fraser and Ozil. Oh, man. Jermaine, Book. Hey, Pook, yay. That's a bookie question, let me tell you. Money aside, Zaha and Mkhitaryan, or Fraser and Ozil. Shit. This goes against my... I want to make it clear I want to get rid of Ozil and Mkhitaryan as soon as possible. But I'd probably opt for Fraser and Ozil. I've just got a feeling that would be a better combination. Even though the temptation to have Ozil finally off the books would be wonderful. I've got a feeling that combination would work quite well. A Fraser-Ozil one. So yeah, Fraser-Ozil. But more because I'm thinking strategy, not because I want Ozil to stay. I want that to be made clear to people. Imagine Mustafi comes to Manchester United and becomes a world class. That would be such an Arsenal thing to happen, Jordan. Such an Arsenal thing. Very unlikely. Such an Arsenal thing. My guy Chick, what's happening with this club? Just finished from work. I saw the Uber rumor. Why are we still wasting time on Mustafi? He should be on a plane to Turkey right now. Well, I agree with all of that. I think Uber's playing games, or maybe Uber's agent is playing games. I saw Lee's stream on this the other day, which if you haven't had an opportunity, go check it out. And I 100% agree with this theory about agents. Agents are very selfish people. All they probably heard was new contract. Let's make sure we do everything we can to get that contract, because ultimately these motherfuckers get paid from it. Agents get gun money when players sign new contracts. So more often than not, they start stories. They're in this for themselves. Most transfer stories are from agents. So don't be surprised if it's agents just playing games. Uber United is a topic. It's a transfer story, Alex. Alex always likes jabbing. I don't know why. He always liked jabbing. Big fan of you and Lee. Gunner entertaining me while I recover from eye surgery. Been a long 3 months. Thank you. Gary, you're most welcome, brother. I hope you recover. That don't sound great. Anything to do with eye surgery, eyes, laser story, I feel for you. Because trust me, eyes are not to be messed with. So recover well, my man. Recover well. I guess we'll be snapping up free signings quite soon. Marco, we're not even doing that. We ain't even doing that. But as I keep telling people, in my view and in my opinion, from next week onwards, you're going to start seeing some shit. Oh, what's happening, Robbie? Well done on 1 million subs. Hold up. Wait a minute. Just for that Steve-O joke. Let me put your ass on timeout. You kid. With a Robbie joke. Come on now. At least come with a fresh jab. Zaha is good, but 80 million, but not 80 million good. Gary, I hope your eyes are good though. Real talk. Gary, I hope you recover well. Fake news. I hope so, Igor Abraham. I hope so. Fenerbahce have been smoking Troops' weed if they want. Let's stop telling them that. Stop making them aware of how shit he is. Like, let's just talk about it quietly. Don't even pay it too much attention. Hopefully they quietly nab him, they sign the contract, and before they realize how shit he is, he's off the books. Shh. Come on, guys, hit the likes. Hit them likes, Iffy. I'm with you, brother. Drive them likes up. What's your view on Turkish and his plan to protest? Turkish is my boy, man. Weirdly found out almost by accident in a conversation that we went to the same secondary school, which is really weird because there's like 2 years between us. So I must have seen him at some point in secondary school. I'm 2 years older than him. Yeah, no, he's a cool brother. For me, you guys know I'm Kroenke out all the way. I always have been. Just because I don't think he has the best interests of the club at hand. But I think it's a bit early for people to lose their mind. You know, it is not June the 1st yet. I do believe, whilst don't get me wrong, I don't necessarily think on the 1st of July we're going to unveil 8 signings. But I do think you will start to see some tangible things happen from next week onwards. I genuinely do think that. But if he does decide to protest, just for me, I hope people support him, because what is pathetic in these situations is people get gassed online saying, "Oh yeah, I'll back this protest, I'll back that protest," and about 3 people turn up. I'm telling you flat out, I'm not going, but that's only because I've got to freaking work, most importantly, but B, I'm prepared to see what happens before losing my mind. So yeah, that's my view on that. King Kallstrom, Dennis Suarez, keep them likes. Hours timed out. What did Al say? Congrats to the 1 million Robbie. Another good one. I ain't gonna block him. Get off Ozil's. Get Ozil off the books. Absolute leech. Have you seen the kit on reveal? I haven't, George. I haven't. What am I missing? I've literally just seen the leaks that everyone else has seen. Whether they're the confirmed kits is another question. If they are, I'm looking forward to picking up a couple of kits, because I ain't bought a kit since for about 4 years now. So I'm looking forward to picking up a shirt, to be fair. Liverpool spent 70 million on agents last season, yeah. But it's also done pretty well in the Champions League for the last couple of seasons, so they can afford it. They can afford it. If we could sign Rakitic for 18 million, would it get him shit? Nope. Rakitic was good about 2 years ago, and I would have loved to have got him 2 years ago. We were actually linked with him 2 years ago. But nah. We need to stop buying these old men. Let's buy some actual present talent. You're 26. You're 27-year-olds. I'm almost got through this stream without saying a particular name. I'm going to try not to say that particular name going forward. What's the best position for Niles? You know what position, man. It's this central midfield. Central midfield. I will never forget that Old Trafford game that he absolutely dominated and made Pogba his bitch. And for some stupid reason, Wenger dropped him the next game. Chig, you enjoying this heat wave? No, I hate heat. You know what? That's a lie. Heat would be fine if it left me alone during the night. Like desert weather is what I mean, really. That kind of cold at night, hot during the day, that would be perfect. Are you out? Oh, I'm sorry, Steve. Oh, did I hurt your feelings? Oh. Okay, well, see ya. Bye. Shit, that's £2. I know. Have you got me, VP? Have you got me? Kroenke ain't going anywhere unless you get Kroenke ain't going anywhere unless you got Kroenke out. Well, this is the thing, and this is why I'm not sure these protests will ultimately work. Because this man didn't go last time. He's going to go now. He's got the whole club. He actually had an out before where there was another fellow billionaire that he could have sold to. He ain't going to go now. Also killing all our dreams. Oh, dear. It's so sad, but people genuinely do think that. Shit, doesn't it amaze you that we were told we couldn't spend due to the stadium? Yeah. Spurs. Yeah, but then Spurs also didn't buy anyone for the last 2 years. People forget that. Spurs had a good team. That's why, see, it doesn't matter when your team is good. When your team is good and you haven't spent any money in the last couple of years, the fans forgive you. But now they've been holding on to the guy. They've been smart. And first of all, we need to stop comparing ourselves to Spurs. I'm sorry, I don't pain people to admit it. They are a better team than us. We just need to go about our business and do what we need to do. Gary, why did you retract it? I agree. He is a French Wanyama. Erwin, don't be surprised if we sign Ribery and Alvarez. Oh, please, I hope not. I hope not. I had thought that as well, I must admit. Should we play with a midfield of Iwobi, Niles, and Torreira? Again, don't be surprised if you see that next season. To be honest, I think he would trust Iwobi in that number 10 before he trusts Ozil. So don't be surprised. We just need a good winner. Dan Quince, we'll check that out in a second. If Uber wants to leave, he can fuck off. French Wanyama. Another shout out. No disrespect to Ndobli, but that's because we can't afford it. What's up, Jay? What up, Roy? We can't afford him. You're right. We can't afford him. My worry is he's so good. I mean, he's so good. He really is good. I was quietly hoping he'd go abroad. And, things have changed, Now Spurs are able to attract players of that caliber. Oh, it hurts. It hurts so badly. Meanwhile, you got our stupid club. Oh, they're going to be started. Just anger me if I think about it. King Kausha 2.0, 31st of July. Turkish save us. Power to Turkish. Listen, the way I say it is Turkish. If you're listening to this, my man, power to you. Do your thing. You know I want the same thing. I'm still prepared to wait and see personally. But if even your protest is able to put a bit of pressure, I think it's ultimately a good thing. So go ahead and do your thing. England are in the semis. So you talk about the women, VP. Ziyech for me. Stephen, I almost went the whole stream without talking about Ziyech. He's like the one person I love. Conke doesn't care about us. I agree. Stephen Gilchrist, exactly, Chick. It hurts me too. Spurs. Awobi or Nelson. In terms of what? Starting? I think what Awobi's numbers get shitted on. But I'm looking forward to what Nelson can do, man. I was devastated when he went on loan last season, to be honest. So I'm hoping this season he comes in and makes an impact. Do I think he should start? I don't know. Should he definitely be around the first team? Yeah, why not? Yeah, the ladies are in the semis. Oh, that's good. Congratulations to the England ladies. Robbie should tell people on their TV to boycott games. No chance. That hurts his business. No chance. You won't be seeing that soon. The clubs are dead. I can't see anything to be excited for. What's the point? The clubs don't care about the fans, only the money. I can't disagree with you, but this is the thing, and this is why, for me, I'm a little surprised that people have this reaction so early into the transfer window. Let's be real, people. We've been here before. The summer ain't a good time of year for any Arsenal fan because we know what's going to happen. We're going to have this kind of lull where nothing happens and fans start to get agitated. That we attempt some vague thing to try and put pressure on the club, and they come with some stupid signing, and everyone's like, what the fuck? It happens every single summer. Bruh, I've seen it happen before. This is not a surprise. Conke didn't come yesterday, you know? We've acted like this for some time. At this point, we're better off just strapping in and let's just see what happens. I know, don't get twisted, I'm Conke out. I just don't see it changing because of a protest. That doesn't mean I'm shitting on the effort of the protest. It just means, for me and why I'm not going, I don't see what good it will do at this stage. And that's the thing, Gary. I think you're right. July transfers tends to be when we do things. I've always have mentioned it. When we last signed the Puma deal, shortly thereafter, you started seeing signings roll out. It's exactly what's going to happen. You watch. I said this, I made this prediction 2 weeks ago, and I'll say it again. You're going to see YouTubers hard on this team next week. Because that's when things are going to start happening. All right, I'm going to literally do 5 more minutes. I'm out of here. And I'm not going to do my usual leave 5 minutes either. It's going to be 5 minutes, hard stop at 11:05, and I'm out. Every year, Chief, that's why we get triggered so early. We need bare physicality in this team, ASAP, or we're going to get bullied this season. I'm with you, Roy. So I'm an advocate personally of Xhaka bouncing and getting Decore personally. Don't forget, guys, remember, stick a like on this video. It always helps the video get noticed. The super chat is open. Never, ever, 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 ever mandatory, but I let people know that it's open. I usually see those comments quickly. So I know people sometimes get annoyed when I don't read their comment. The best way of getting my attention is through those super chats. So just putting it out there. 35 million for Mustafi, 35 million for Xhaka. We blew a shit ton of cash. Yes, we did. In the same summer. In the same summer. That's the last. That's the Bennett era for you. The one time he actually spent money. He spent money on these two. On these two. We sidestepped Kante. I don't care what anyone tells me. We sidestepped Kante for Granit Xhaka. In a way, quietly, I'll be honest, I'm not as hardcore against Wenger these days the way a lot of people are. I will say this, I'll never forgive him for that. There's a little part of me that will never forgive him for that. Every time Kante plays well, like the job Kante did at us when he was supposedly injured in that final, and I just looked at it and I just thought, Wenger, you motherfucker. Imagine if we'd had him instead of the idiot that I'm looking at in Granit Xhaka. Five minutes equals 25 minutes. Not this time, Gary. I promise. 3 minutes and I'm out. Sam, big up, big up. You always catch me at the end, Sam. What's going on? Big up to Sam. Chip, would you have the Amanda at Arsenal? The Benin DM. Capone, you're the second person to ask me about this Benin DM. I'll be honest. I ain't had a chance to check him out. I need to watch more Akon. I know. I'm getting on it. I'm getting on it. Absolutely. Corey is a big, proper centre half. I like Dacom, Izzo, Dunk, Capet, Hom. See, out of those lot of defenders, Roy, I'd love Homerso, I'd love Isso, and I'd love Dunk. I'm not so hot on Dacom, and I'm even less hot on that Kimberley. But that's just me. Jack will be the next captain. Bite your tongue, Sam. Bite your tongue. Put that title away. Man's got work in the morning. Thank you, Chin. Wenger is a dunce. Top man, Chin. Yes, Tayyip. There's another early listener of mine, Tayyip Hussein. Big up. Tayyip and Stephen. I see you, Stephen. I see you, brother. They're my originals right there. I like Decore of Watford. I've been banging on about Decore for about 3 years, mate. I'm a big, big fan of his. All right, 1 more minute. Come on, give me some good questions before I'm out. And if you haven't already, do hit that like button, please. 10 rules of the game. You caught me late, bruh. What kind of time is this? Caught me late, bruh. The scenes of the kits that revealed a bunch of youth players. It's so gonna happen, Duff, isn't it? That if Arsenal reveal anyone at that kit signing, it will be youth players, and it would literally just go over like a fart in church. Okay, out with that. My name. No, I don't, Capone. I don't. guys. It is 11:05. I did say a hard stop. I was waiting for a compelling question. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening anyway. Do remember to hit that like button. Enjoy your evening. I know it's late on a Thursday evening. I'll be back tomorrow, but I'm going to be in transit. I'm going to be traveling. So it'll be an interesting video to do from a train, but at least be entertaining. So do keep an eye out for that. And at the weekend, I will continue dropping a couple of other videos. I owe you guys a chopping block. A chopping block has been uploaded and scheduled for Sunday. So when I say it's locked and loaded, it's ready to drop. I'm sure you guys, some of you guys, most of you guys will agree on the choice. So I'm hoping you guys enjoy it. And that's pretty much me done. So I'm out of here, people. Take care. Peace.